The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Bermuda's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good day, Bermuda, supported by Pete's House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lumber. And we want to thank you for getting up with us this morning, bright and early. Jacky, it's Tuesday. How are you feeling? How was your Monday evening?
Easy.
I love to hear it.
Yeah, no, I just came home from work and showed up, and I was in my bed and I was in my bed by 9, sleep by like 9:30, 9:45, I think.
Okay, so that's around about the regular bedtime, so that's good. I see we have Sean Smith in with us. Good morning to you and Sean Simmons, because, I do have a moment where I call Sean Simmons Sean Smith, because, I don't really see his name in the comments like that, but it is what it is. Good morning to you, Kathy, as well. So, let's talk. I had this really interesting dream last night before we kind of start today's show. I had a dream that I was at a football game. My team won, but I basically have done too much stuff for the football team that I'm dreaming about them. It was the wildest dream too. I woke up this morning, I was like, I don't even like those guys like that. I do love them. I'm just kidding. It was really sometimes you analyze your dream and you're like, but why? I definitely had a moment this morning where I was like, okay, I need to take a break from this football thing, because having dreams about my team, not it.
I don't remember my dream from last night.
Maybe it was that deep.
It's probably about food.
I knew you was going to say it's about food.
Oh my God, it's always food.
It's always about food. I feel like, honestly, food is like a really good default answer for you, because 9 times out of 10, it might be the right answer.
like majority of Bermuda's like, let's link up for drinks. And I'm like, will there be food? Can we get food? Like,
can we get food there, or do
just drink? Do they have nachos or something? I need you to, sometimes when people are like, let's go book club, is the kitchen open? Is uncle working? And they're like, probably we get there and the clothes. I look, I'm like,
tricked me.
Can't get no fries.
But as y'all can see, Jacky and I are definitely ready to bring you some feel good vibes this morning. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and share today's episode. Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, do whatever you need to do to get this episode out there. So today, our feel good topic of the day is music festivals. We're actually going to be discussing the recent Astroworld tragedy and the story around that. And we're going to be discussing whether we think festivals are becoming too dangerous for us to attend. And I'm going to be testing your knowledge against Jacky's knowledge. We have trivia time with Terri for our feel good vibe of the day. This is a new one. You'll have 3 tries to beat Jacky, and it's going to be all centered around things that happened in the 2000s. So put your thinking caps on. Before we get into all of that, let's start with our feel good warm up this morning. We want to know, would you be okay if your significant other proposed to you in front of millions of people? Now, to give you some context, I think Adele had a concert recently, and during this concert, she allowed, so I'm assuming it was the guy, right? Because, sometimes women do be proposing to man, but I'm assuming
that was the guy.
I'm assuming there was a man who came on during a specific section. I didn't see it, but Jacky did tell me. So actually, Jacky, you tell the story, because I don't really know the backstory. I'm just here pulling pieces.
I didn't actually see the concert live, but it did happen Sunday evening. Adele, as always, has the whole world in their emotions. So I think it was cute. I mean, not for me, but a young man had his wife come out, and Adele sang a ballad. I can't remember the name right now. And of course, I think it was cute for them.
So audience, let us know, well, ladies specifically, you know, let us know if you would be okay if your significant other did that for you. And then fellas, like, would you go through those lengths to propose to your significant other? Like Jacky, okay, let's say you're dating a guy and you guys are like real serious and you're about to take that next step and he proposes to you at like this really big concert. Like, how are you reacting?
You know I'm awkward, right? These things have to be private. You can't, nobody know. I might pass out. Like, now we're all embarrassed because we're all embarrassed because I'm on the ground, passed out, and I don't even know if I'm hurt. Like, my bladder's always full. Like, you know, like, there's no telling what will happen. Would I say yes if it was serious and that's what we've been talking about? Probably, but I just think that it's safer for all of us if we do it right.
So Monica Dawson says sure, but only because I know I'll say yes. So clearly there is, you know, some nuances to it. For me personally, I don't think I would want to be proposed to in front of millions of people. Not because I'm awkward like Jacky, but I just feel like, me personally, I don't want millions of people that I don't know to see this moment. Like, I don't want to share it with them. Like, they're not my people.
Yeah.
So
I also, yeah. So I get it.
That's my no. Like, it's not because I don't think that his idea or the romance, the thought that he put into it is not enough. But for me personally, I don't know these people. Like, I don't even know Adele. So like,
yeah.
I don't want them to be a part of my moment. This is the one moment because we're already doing this once. So this is the moment, and I need it to be for us.
Adele could absolutely be there at the private engagement. Okay. That will be bomb. Like, imagine John Legend playing the piano, singing to you, and his propose. That would be amazing. But it literally has to be. I don't want other people to record my special moment. So you might want a videographer if that's what you want. Like, if you want that recording. But like you said, I don't want a whole lot of people. That's millions. That's the whole world watch that. Because everybody, I don't know anybody that doesn't love Adele enough to go back and watch it, even if they weren't watching it live. They may go back and watch little snippets just to get an idea of it. But I just don't see how. Like, I feel like the follow-up has to be just as big, right? The engagement party. So people are going to be watching your life for the rest of your life because they're like, oh, those are the people. And it may not be the whole world. A lot of people might die off, but there's still going to be those
pokey people.
Yeah, that keep watching. So now you're going to want to see, what are they doing for the wedding?
Exactly. If you're just joining us, Jacky and I are discussing the fact that someone proposed to their significant other during her concert recently, and we wanted to get your thoughts on it, whether you would be okay with your significant other doing that, or if you would come up with that extravagant of an idea. You know what's interesting? Like, how do you contact, like, how does this conversation start? Like, who do you contact in the Adele camp? Like, how did we get here? Is my question. Because, like, I'm pretty sure you didn't pay. Well, I don't know if you paid. Like, I don't know the nuances of the logistics of it, but like, how did you have this idea, sir? Like, she's probably a super Adele fan.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, she's probably a really big Adele fan.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to look, because do you remember Beyonce's backup dance? I think her name was Ashley, the red hair. It was like one of her best friends. She's like always to the right of her.
Okay.
I think her person surprised her at and Beyonce helped with that proposal as well, I think.
Okay. Slightly different, because they're friends.
I'm saying, exactly. So I'm saying, I wonder if they reached out, was just like, hi, my fiance, well, sorry, not my fiance yet. My girlfriend is a super Adele fan. I wanted to know if this is what you want to, like, if you help me do this. Mm-hmm. You know, closed mouths don't get fed. So maybe he like sent her a DM to different people, or, you know, people like us actually know people like that. Not me.
I could see it. Like, I could definitely see it. I was just wondering, like, you know, how did, like, he probably was just like, let me just slide in the DMs of someone real quick and see what happens. And he got what he asked for. I think that's really dope, though. Same way. Sean Smith, Jack.
If we have discussed marriage, then yes, I might do it. However, I propose privately. Yeah, I want to be the person that's just like, guys, guess what? But like, I can't do that if the whole world already knows.
If they watched me on Adele's concert, like, no. But like we say, I definitely think the gesture is what's most important. And honestly, probably for this young woman, this was probably part of her dream proposal situation. Maybe not as big as Adele, but maybe there was like some element of my favorite artists. I would love for them to, like, be a part of my proposal type of situation. Because other than that, like you said, Jack, the bar is set high. So like everything after this, the expectations, whether they are intended or not, are going to be like super high for just about every single thing. And if I'm a friend, like, sis, whatever's on your wedding registry, it better be in my budget, because otherwise I'm not getting anything. I don't care that Adele was part of your proposal. She's not me. So I need you to understand that.
Yeah, and the other thing was she was blindfolded when she walked onto the stage. So now, first of all, when you take the blindfold off, I can't see anything. And then I'm going to be like,
yeah, my face is going to turn up. Like, I'm just going to be,
what is happening? Why are we here? And then everything's going to register, and then I'm not a pretty crier.
People get see Jack on the video like bawling. Not even a cute cry.
No. It's going to be confusion and everything.
Before we take a commercial break, we have this comment from Kathy Rogers, which actually shed some light. She says he sent a video explaining why he wanted to do this. I think it was a competition. That's really interesting that it possibly was a competition. Like maybe Adele, like, put out some type of request, because artists do that, like where they'll say like, if you want to be a part of the concert, blah, blah, blah. So that's an interesting, I guess, reason, because it probably was then too like a part of their like overall kind of story for their relationship, but then that he probably just made it easier for him, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely I keep thinking about it, and I feel like I want to hear why. Like, I don't want you to just be like, will you marry me? I want to hear the speech that goes on in your head when you think about why I'm the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah. And so we're going to end it on this last comment from Kathy Rogers. She says, not for me, I'll rather a private, personal moment for a proposal. And I think that's definitely the gist that we're getting from the audience, because like we said, kudos to him for being able to do that for his significant other. But for the most of us, we definitely prefer a little more intimate setting.
Agreed.
We're going to take our first commercial break, and then Jack and I will be right back with our feel-good topic of the day. We are talking about the Astroworld tragedy and whether music festivals are getting too dangerous for us to attend. So make sure you stick around.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. And if you're just joining us, we are going to be talking about our further topic of the day. We are discussing music festivals, and we're going to be discussing the recent Astroworld story and whether festivals are becoming too dangerous for us to attend. Now, we want to start this off, Jackie, with your recent experience, because I know you did attend a similar type of festival/concert in New York. And I do remember you mentioned that the particular artist that is associated with this Astroworld story, I don't know if he was there or you had been invited to like a similar concert. So just maybe set the scene for like what it was like for you recently.
So I went to the Rolling Loud concert in New York, and Travis Scott actually came on Friday. I want to say it was Friday's shows, and it was a bunch of different artists, but people were telling me, oh, you're going to see Travis Scott, like, his concerts get wild, people climb these skylights and they jump into the crowd, people body surf, like there's been constant injuries, people have left with pure broken bones. So it's like it set the scene for me already to be like weary and prepared for people to rush the stage and stuff. So I remember he was actually about to come on. So they had at Rolling Loud, they had 3 different stages. So smaller artists will go on to the other stages, and then the big artists will come on. Like 50 Cent came on, J. Cole. That was the stage that they will come on. So we started to walk over to the stage, and people were going to, running back and forth between different stages. But it wasn't a lot of people. It would be like, a crowd of 10 would run across, and you stop and you let them go past, and you walk through. So you finally get a spot. I think it's a great spot until Travis Scott actually comes on. And I want to say about 100 to 200 people came running through. Not small people. Like, these are all different shapes and sizes. And I'm only 5'4", 5'5" on a good day. I like to say I'm 6'4", but we all know that's majority personality. Majority is personality. But I remember I was with my cousins, and I just they're bigger than me, the basketball players. So I kind of just stood into them so that they were my buffer, because I was just getting pushed and hit. And I'm like, yo, it's not that serious. You getting closer isn't going to mean that you actually see better. You're going to see less. Just chill. Take a slow walk. They only announced him. He's not even on the stage yet. Chill. And they were pushing people. I saw a girl actually fall. Her friend was lucky enough to pick her up. But I was just like, what if her friend didn't notice that she had fallen, because she was at the front of the crowd? There's alcohol at these places. There's drugs at these places. So I don't know. I was just like, guys, I'm having social anxiety. It kicked in as soon as people started pushing me, because there was nothing I could do, because most of the people were bigger than me. So I just you ever seen Lion King when the herd is running and he hides behind the rock and on the tree? That was me. I was so just make yourself small, make yourself small. That too much.
Just hearing that recollection is intense. And so we want to ask this first question though, because so I haven't listened to Travis Scott in a while. But I do want to ask this first question of the audience. Do you think today's music incites violence in its listeners? And the reason why I ask this is because I haven't listened to Travis Scott in a while. The only Travis Scott I really remember is All the Way Turned Up. That was from my college days. And I'm trying to recall some of the lyrics, and just thinking about the lyrics, it is a turn up song. If you've never been to the South, specifically in Atlanta, the music is real crunk. It's definitely music that gets you super hype.
Mm-hmm.
So just remembering that experience, and I've never been to, at that point, I've never been to a Travis Scott event where it got super hype, what you're talking about. It was just the regular, we're having a good time hype, we're definitely mobbing, we're swag surfing, we're definitely doing all of that, but I've never heard of a physical altercation happening at an event. So I'm just trying to think, is the music changed from what he used to do?
No, that's the crazy part. Apparently this was the Turn Down concert.
The Turn Down concert.
Well, we laughed. We was just my cousins were just like, oh, we're gonna send you some videos of how it really gets popping. And I'm just like, what? And they weren't bad. Obviously people get excited and they rush to the front, and then you see the crowd and it almost looks like it's a wave of people, and they're having a good time. I'm not bashing them. It was calm-ish, but I'm just thinking claustrophobia kicks in. And you see them, you heard the music, it's like a rave. So they're just doom, doom, excited. I wouldn't say it incites violence. I think them overraging start stuff. So if you're getting excited, you're amped up, and you're with the wrong people that are already amped up, and now you're shoving each other, oh, I can't believe I'm here. You hit the wrong person, and they're just, hey, cut it out, and you only mix with the wrong people, and then yes, it can be an explosion of terrible events. But
I want to bring in some audience comments, because we have a few, and I think they kind of align with what we're talking about. So first, Kathy says, any event that size has potential to be dangerous. And I'm like Jackie, I definitely get claustrophobic. Well, I don't think I get claustrophobic, but there is a number of people that do make me feel anxious. I've been to an event that I helped build in Atlanta called Igloo Atlanta. And it started out really small, and then it grew to this mega event. And once all the people get there, I no longer go into the crowd, because I just feel I'm no longer in control of my body. Not because I think people are gonna try to harass me, but they're enjoying themselves. So they're moving, and so they could just knock me, and I'm a tiny person like Jackie. So it's kind of if you knock me the wrong way and I fall over somebody's cooler, it's a wrap after that, poor little tiny me. So There's that. I want to come. Where did it go? Here we go.
But like, sorry.
Go here. No, go here.
I was just saying, like, I've been to those concerts. I've been to a Beyonce concert, and I've been to Marshall Monday, which has millions of people. Like, this is Trinidad Carnival. Marshall Monday, it's basically like sets of Carnival in Trinidad, and we got there early. We made our big circle. Everybody knew where to stand, spread out. But once the concert started, then like we had our space. People would try to invade, and we'd be like, "Hey, so just to let you know, like, you don't want to be in this circle if you're not gonna be as turned as us, because we jump, we wave our flag, like we have a good time, and we try to let people know that we do wave our flag. So for your head protection, because some people don't realize that we'll be waving it like Bermuda flag, and I've had people like, I'm waving the flag and come up and whine on me, and I've clocked them not knowing that they're walking up behind me. I actually have a video of me on the stage and I'm waving the flag, and somebody tries to come up, and I switch my pattern and I hit them, and I'm just like,
you just smacked.
There was nobody behind me 3 seconds ago. I looked before I changed and you weren't there. No, but
so
I think it depends on the music and the concert, because good. I just didn't get that.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely talk about the genre in a second. So Sherry says, assigned seating event concerts is what I like to attend nowadays. I can actually speak to, and I went to an event in Atlanta. Well, okay, this is a different genre. It's reggae. So if you're fighting a reggae concert, especially a Barris Hammond concert, like, you are actually asking for a lot. So
you came looking to start.
You came for trouble, but it was definitely at like one of those outdoor amphitheaters, and so it had like the assigned seating. Mind you, it didn't have any cover over the seating, so we were boiling hot, but nonetheless. I want to get to this comment from Monica Dunster, Jack.
Really, Monica? LOL, white people have been raving like that since the beginning of time. I learned the hard way when I was in college.
I have actually, like I said, I have never experienced that type of music festival or concert experience ever. Like, I really have not. And so, and then for me, for it to be a Travis Scott, because like the experience I have with Travis Scott's music is not that intense, it really took me for a loop, because I was just like, this is just Travis Scott. Like, this is just the homecoming music. Like, this is the music of like, an era for me. So for it to have, I guess, the narrative to have changed with his music is definitely interesting.
So bear with me with this thought, because I was just thinking, music is frequencies, and I was thinking about how Tika came on and she said in her car she just has like frequencies and different things. So obviously some calm you down and some amp you up and hype you up. So you might be right. Like, it may actually push you to get that adrenaline that needs to be released, and they release it violent. Well, not really violently, but yeah.
Aggressive. They become aggressive, and then, violence doesn't ensue because you come out and you done buzz. Like, you done buzz. I mean, Ludacris has a song talking about just throwing buzz. So it's just, for me, like, but I do understand, like, me personally, I understand the difference between the song and my real life. And I'm not walk up to someone, but I do understand that. I think I want to bring this comment from Janae. She says, music definitely sets the tone in the culture. And just thinking about like the music of that era, that is what they would do. Knock if you buck, like, I never scared. Like, there were so many songs where they were talking about, I love that song, how they are, but I'm like, I would never act on it. It's just like it's a real hypey song. Like, that's all it is. So that's that. Let's get through some more comments, and then we'll move on to the next question. So Sherry Vanderpool, Jack.
I think that it doesn't. It's just the culture right now, but it's been going on for years when you think of Woodstock back in the day.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm not old enough to be a Woodstock. I don't remember Woodstock, but I understand. I remember the concept of Woodstock, right? Jackie and I overheard Lil Babe is in the 80s.
Not only, sorry.
No, go ahead, yes.
Not only that, people are on drugs and alcohol as well, and it's easy to for the panic to start. Absolutely.
And I think that's what Jackie mentioned too. Like, I don't know, obviously Jackie didn't have evidence to say that, these people were on something, but
it's called Rolling Loud.
I mean, exactly. So like, from the conversation, like from the title of the concert, just knowing how music festivals in the past have kind of always been a space for that type of activity. one can positively assume that there were a group of people that were, you know, in an altered state of mind, and all you have to do, like Jacky said, is hit someone the wrong way or just make a mistake of bumping into someone, or you get pushed into someone else, and then that becomes a trickle-down effect. So I want to get to some final comments before we move on to the next question. Sean Smith says, in my opinion, no, it comes down to people's energy, like Jacky mentioned. If they came with bad energy, then the possibility of violence can occur. Absolutely. And then Phil Trott says, but why are people letting their 9-year-old attend a festival? So let's talk about this before we move on to the next question, Jack. Because
Absolutely.
Okay, so to me, the only festivals that I think are child friendly are those that have people of their age. Like, so like a coffee, like someone that's young, like that speaks to that generation's music, for me, makes sense. But Travis Scott is like my age music. So like I'm not bringing a child to a Travis Scott concert if there's no Justin Bieber, like not Justin Bieber, no, but like, you know, when he was doing like his pop music, like if there's no person that makes sense for that child to come there, like I'm personally not bringing them. Like, did you see Children Night, the concert that you went to? I know it's really lost, so I mean.
Yes, I did. It irritated me. That's why my face is like this, because I was walking past and I'm the old person, the auntie. I'm just like, it's 9:00, right? Because if I had it my way, this concert would have been like obviously it started on the day. Some days it started at 1, most days it started at 12, 2 o'clock at the latest. Okay. So I understand that it's an all day affair, but
there should be a cutoff.
Why am I, an adult, coming here where people are? And yes, I saw them doing all types of drugs. They did it openly. They didn't care. But I just didn't see how you could stay that late. I don't know what time all of this stuff actually went down. You know, the darkness outside makes you think it's later than it is. It could be 5:30 and it starts popping off. So if there were kids that were there until 11:30, 12. And I'm just like, my curfew, and I'm talking about kids, like with their older siblings, with their parents. And I just didn't think it was the environment. It wasn't child friendly past a certain hour. And I think a lot of people need to have that spatial awareness and emotional intelligence to be like, all right, it's time to go.
So I want to bring in this comment. Anika De Shield says they took their 9-year-old, which kind of probably seems, or like, you know, they took the child with them. But then she also goes on to say parenting these days seems to be different. And I guess to Jacky's point, like there is like a moment, like you as the adult have to be able to say like, okay, this is no longer about me. Because I feel like that's a selfish thing to do, to keep the 9-year-old there, because you wanted to see someone that comes on later, but you had to bring this child, or you chose to bring the child, like however the child got into the concert with you. It's like at some point you have to say, all right, it's not that deep, because it's getting to a point where I'm probably not going to be able to protect this child, just given the number of people. They could have even, nothing could have turned up at all physically, but just the number of people that are there, I think that alone makes me conscious of the fact that if I can't protect this 9-year-old in this vicinity, it's unsafe for me.
And I am actually for taking some children to certain concerts. Like if I'm going to see Luther Vandross, Barris Hammond, stuff like that, where it's chill, I don't mind taking my child with me, because I know that the environment is going to be predominantly calm. Mm-hmm. Travis Scott has his concerts have a history, like that's their reputation, for them to be off the wall. So right. I don't think I'd do that. But if I had the opportunity to take my niece to, like if Michael Jackson was to come be resurrected or still around, or Whitney Houston were still around, I take my child to an adult concert. I think it depends on the atmosphere that the child will be exposed to.
And since you said that, I want to bring in this call from Jamal Hartman. He says, Phil makes a great point, but 9-year-olds used to attend Byron Lee, and those shows were active. Everyone dancing, but with soca, you don't need drugs or alcohol to have fun. And I think that's probably the underlying kind of message of this particular tragedy, is that at Astroworld, there was that element of mind-altering substances. So no matter how well-intentioned you are as the caretaker, the guardian, the parent of this child, you cannot control people when they're on a mind-altering substance, like period. Like
they can't even control themselves.
But like, yeah, they can't control themselves. You can't control themselves, and then you're putting pressure on security to now not only diffuse the situation, but make sure that those vulnerable persons, i.e., the children, are protected. Which I'm pretty sure that wasn't part of their original agreement, right? Their original agreement was to like, make sure if anything happens that you remove the person, that you keep, the crowd as contained as you can. But when it goes to a level of super turned up, then it is what it is. So let's move on to question number 2, because that was like 2 questions. One we came in through the audience, and then we had our own questions. So the next one, who should be held accountable for the deaths? Because I think right now it's up to 9, if I'm not mistaken. At the last check, I looked at it last night. So who do we think should be held accountable? Because there's a lot that goes into putting on these events, right? It's not just, you show up to the event and it's all ready to go. Like there's like event promoters, there's event logistics people, there's like, the management of the artist, there's the management of the venue. Like there's so many different pieces. So like, do we think anyone should be charged for these deaths, first of all? And then who should be held accountable? Like, should this be a shared experience? Or should it just be one person? Let's talk about it.
Don't get mad at me.
Okay.
But I think it should be shared blame, because especially for the 9-year-old, like, I mean, a lot of things are avoidable. If you know that Travis Scott's concerts turn up, it's not the best environment for children on a certain age. I don't know where they were standing or situated, how it actually went down, but the moment you see video footage, and you know how fast the internet moves, the moment you see video footage of them breaking down barriers to rush the concert, I think that sets the tone of what this concert's gonna be.
Yeah.
Then you hear people are screaming like, "Stop the concert! Stop the concert!" I think everybody, even those who attended, need to take some blame, because once it started to get hectic, you could have left,
right?
But you stayed.
Honestly, like,
and then security is situated, and police are typically situated throughout the concert. So I feel like you could have gotten on and been like, "Yo, this just went down. Tell Travis, to pause." Somebody goes on stage, whispers in his ear, pulls him to the side. They deal with it, and then a lot of people have the power to make sure stuff like this didn't happen. You know that people get too rowdy at your concert. At some point, you gotta be like, "Guys, I can't keep dealing with you like breaking your bones and killing yourselves. Like, we need to sort this out." But
yeah, I think
we're also grown, right? At the same time, most people are grown.
And that's where it becomes really tricky, right? Because if people brought young children, that's one element that probably wasn't planned for. I think the person with the loudest voice has the most, and I think he has the most responsibility, Travis Scott, to take a stance on how his concerts are being attended. I'm not saying that he has to like change the way he makes his music or his artistry, but if you're aware, because you're aware, sir, if you are aware that this is happening at your concerts, I do feel like at the very least, you need to be actively reminding people to like,
turn it on.
Let's keep it at a certain level. Like, and I think that part of it too is this, like, first of, how are you getting drugs into this concert? Like, do we not have dogs that can sniff this stuff out? Like, how, like, are you guys coming there intoxicated? Like, I'm just so confused, because obviously you can't tell people to not do drugs. Like, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But at some point, like, I just feel like someone needs to be louder and more vocal about the fact that this is happening. Just like, we're okay with this. Like, I don't feel like this is the first time someone has lost their life at a concert, not just, Travis Scott concert, but just at a concert. And I think with social media and how fast things move, it's more viral, there's more attention to it. But at some point, someone needs to be like, all right, enough is enough. Like, we need to like figure out a way to make this better, because a 9-year-old lost her life at a concert.
A baby.
And we're in the middle of a pandemic. Like, how are we still living in a pandemic? And this is the type of
I feel like we are still living in a pandemic.
Bermuda's still living in a panorama.
The States is wide open in most places.
And that's true, I guess. I want to actually come to these comments because Sean Smith says, not knowing all the facts, I will have to say the promoter and organizer because they are responsible for everyone at the venue. I definitely do think that they have to have some.
But are they? Because what is on the you know how the disclaimer? What is on it when you buy your ticket?
So actually, that's what I was going to bring in from Monica. She says there's probably some fine print when you buy a ticket that says the event or the artist is not responsible. So, and I think this fine print, like that's why I love the law. Like, you know, I have a law and order degree from you know, that college, but I really wonder sometimes, like the law can really be set up in such a way that everyone involved is not responsible. We're talking about this, but I really feel like there's probably some agreements that are out there that say the event promoter is not responsible, Travis Scott is not responsible, those that actually who the venue are not responsible. And so what do you tell the mother? And if the mother did take her child there, like how, like you do not get resolve from this. And it just opens up this bigger question, like, why are we allowing them to not have responsibility when stuff like this can happen? Like, they should be doing more to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen because they are liable, but because they don't have any liability, they're just like hands off, which is frustrating. So 2 more comments, Jack. Go ahead.
When I used to put on events, I was held responsible for anything that happened at my events. That's typical. Like that's what I expect. But I just know that the States is different. Like you can sue for standing on somebody's sneaker. Like
their laws are definitely different.
It's different. It's different. It's different out there.
Kathy Rogers and Sherry, Jack.
What about enter at your own risk? It should be accountability on both sides.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I don't know. Like if it happened at my concert, I don't know. I feel like right. Like I'd feel some type of way, and I'd have to be like, all right, all my money is gonna have to go to the victims. All my earnings for this concert for Astroworld will go to the Astroworld victims. If anybody would like to also donate, let me know. But this is what's happened. All proceeds go to, because like these are your fans. You are who you are because of your fans. You were able to have this concert because your fans decided that you were important enough to go. And the whole, I saw his video of him after the concert where it's like holding his head and all this stuff, like, you know, his emotions are being poured out, whether they're real or not. It was just like, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to help them? How are you going to, like, are you going to help pay for their therapy? Because this is a huge loss.
Yep. So I'm going to get to these final 2 comments before we take our next commercial break and then get to trivia time with Terry, which is our feel good vibe of the day. Sherry says it's probably also said under 18 not allowed as well, which then means that you broke the one thing that they asked you to, you know, make sure you're of age. And so that enters the conversation. And then Kathy says she should have said attend, not enter. But I think we got it. I think it's definitely one of those things because essentially you are entering or attending, same difference. But you know, it's definitely a heavy story, but we wanted to kind of bring it to your attention because Jackie and I do like concerts and music festivals, but then also because I knew that Jackie had recently experienced to a degree a Travis Scott concert. And luckily the one that she attended was not as intense as this one. So we'll take a quick commercial break and then we'll be right back with Trivia Time with Terry.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terry Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. Now we're going to get ready for today's Feel Good Vibe of the Day. This is a new segment. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Jackie tells us some jokes, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to test your knowledge against Jackie. So today I have 3 music-related trivia questions, all from the 2000s. So between 2000 and 2010. So you have to be Jackie to be answered into our draw for a prize that we're going to be working. We're working with this people behind the stage, behind the scenes, to make sure we have something cool for you guys. But in the meantime, let's just play. Jackie, question number 1. Easy one, I think. Which producer rapper founded the headphone company Beats Electronics?
Dr. Dre.
I was going to say, if she doesn't get this, Jesus.
Beats by Dre.
I was like really sitting here like, yo, she paused. Okay.
Because I was just like, she said easy, and I was just like, wait, is she trying to trick me? But I was just like, no, it's Beats by Dre. I used to have them.
Like, okay, we won't talk about that. What singer collaborated with Jay-Z to record Empire State of Mind?
Alicia Keys.
Yeah, got that girl.
And Lil Mama.
Leave Little Mama alone, okay?
I still can't believe she got up on that stage with them. The audacity.
Leave her alone. She was a super fan. She was a super fan. Okay, last one. I don't think the audience is really able to beat you with this one, Jack, but we'll see.
Hey.
We'll see, audience. Good. Try to beat Jackie, because if you beat Jackie, we'll help you get a prize. Last one. Who infamously interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech?
Kanye West. My Kanye West and Kanye was Kanye. Kinda. He was
so Sean Swift is here for you. Jackie's celebrating the fact that you got all 3 correct. Shout out to Jackie for getting all 3 correct. Looks like Anika Shields also knew the answer to that one. He definitely he was giving big Gemini energy that day, and I stand. We hope that today's Feel Good Vibe of the Day has you ready to make it a great one. Thank you so much for watching and engaging with this episode of Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terry Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert, and we trust we'll see you tomorrow for another Feel Good conversation. Until the next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.